Chicago Bears Overreaction Monday coming at you here live on YouTube. Welcome into Bears Now by Chat Sports. My name is Harrison Graham. We got a lot to get into here in just a few minutes on today's show. Justin Fields, Matt Eberflus, Chase Claypool, Teven Jenkins. A lot to discuss. But before we do any of that, this one coming in from Michael Horowitz. Boom! Get the booms in the chat. Michael Horowitz with a $100 super chat and Rolly. This one came in before we even went live. Michael Horowitz, a legend.
His A game early on Monday.
He gets a sticker here on the Bears Now Helmet Hall of Fame. Let's go. Shout out to Michael effing Horowitz. $100 super chat you get on the Bears Now Helmet Hall of Fame. There you are. I think he's got a couple on here now, but anyway, Michael Horowitz bringing the heat. Get the booms going. Absolutely electric. Josh, Kelsey, Lucas, Wasim, Georgia, Harley. What a legend Michael Horowitz is. We'll go ahead and hit these other super chats as well. Thank you to Andrew. Trade back with the number 1 pick. Take Marvin Harrison, number 2. Use the new picks for DL, defensive line, offensive line. Grab a safety and corner round 4 and 5, and take best available for the rest. So basically, Andrew, your strategy is keep Justin Fields, draft Marvin Harrison, number 2, trade that number 1 pick for a haul. I don't think if they get the number 1 pick, they'll pass on Caleb Williams. Is it impossible? I guess not, but I just don't think it's very likely. Tito, and today, $10 super chats are going to result in fireball shots from yours truly. So let me pour one out for Mr. Tito here. He says, listening to Flus talk literally makes my blood pressure go up. I feel like no one trusts him at this point. I say we give Fields another year. It'll kill me to watch him go somewhere else and be great. And I literally was talking about this with a couple guys in the office earlier today, and it's been my fear for a while, and it continues to be, is that Justin Fields going somewhere else and tearing it up would just kill me because you see the talent. Yeah, he has to be more consistent. Yeah, he can't have turnovers late. But, like, you put a smarter coaching staff around him, a more stable organization, you could watch him blossom in this league. You really, really could. Tito, cheers. Appreciate it, my brother. Wasim with the 10 as well. That's another fireball shot. He says, FGB, F Flush, Matt Eberflus. F Getsy barely holding on with Poles since he picked Flush and Valus in the Claypool trade. Flush isn't developing talent. Fields has to prove himself against a real defense. Absolutely. Fields, like, at this point, and we're going to get into a question, like, he's got a lot to prove. Was yesterday a really good game for him and a step in the right direction? Yeah, it was. But I'm not going to say that game outweighed the first 3 weeks, even if I do think the coaching's a big problem. Another one from Wasim as I pour this one out for the 10. Rolly, feel free to hop on screen and chime in here as Wasim says, hope Rolly is better after the Drew Holiday trade. Rolly?
I am not. So that's all I'll say about that.
Rolly, for those who don't know, is a Miami Heat fan. So not only did they miss out on Damian Lillard, but apparently they made a big offer for Drew Holiday, and Portland traded him to Boston, which is a rival of the Miami Heat. And Rolly wants to fight Joe Cronin now.
If I actually ever saw that dude in the street, I'd actually jump him. and people might think I'm doing a bit. I'm being dead serious. If I saw him, I would actually press him.
Marty K with the 5. Joe Cronin's the Blazers GM or owner?
GM.
If the offense we saw in the first half is what we could consistently get, and that's what Getsy has been trying to do all along, I'd buy into Getsy. See, boy, here's the problem, Marty K. And it was more than the first half, by the way. It was almost 3 full quarters. The problem is even though Vance Joseph sucks, he made a minor adjustment. And Matt Ryan talked about this on the broadcast. It's called blitzing the boot. Getsy kept going to those boots, which were working early, and I appreciate him using more of those, but when a team adjusts, you have to counter. What he means is Vance Joseph basically started telling the edge rusher, rush straight up field. That way, if they run those boots, you're in Fields' face. Fields made a guy miss on that touchdown throw to Khalil Herbert on the goal line. They got away with it there. Getsy ran it again. He didn't have time to get rid of it and scoop and score. So that you got to counter adjust. I think that's been a big problem with this coaching staff is even when it does look good, even when their plan A actually does work, where is the plan B? Where's the adjustment? Doesn't seem to be there for this team, unfortunately. So that is where that sits. Before we continue, do want to give our sponsor of the day some love. That is Game Time, the best place to go to buy tickets to your favorite sporting events and other things as well. Buying tickets to a sporting event, concert, comedy show, or anything else, it shouldn't be frustrating. It should be easy and painless. And with Game Time, it is. Game Time's goal is for you to have a peace of mind with your purchase and to help you save as much money as possible when buying your tickets, whether you're going to a Bears game, an awesome concert, or any other event. Game Time wants you to have the best experience possible. And by the way, if you're looking for last-minute tickets, Game Time has the best deals for you. It's not challenging whatsoever. And yeah, I get it. The Bears stink right now, but if you want the best deals available, Game Time has you covered. I got tickets last minute to go to the national championship game last year with Game Time. Literally 2 hours before kickoff, I bought my tickets, got them digitally sent to me. We were good to go. Use promo code BearsChat to get $20 off when you download the Game Time app. Go to your app store, download Game Time, create an account, and use code BearsChat. Again, that's code BearsChat after you download the Game Time app to create your account for $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets for the lowest price available, guaranteed with Game Time. Go check out Game Time. Appreciate them for sponsoring today's show. All right, let's get the chat going a little bit here in a moment. Lucas Prang first. His media went after Flus today at his presser. They peppered him, man, and good for the Bears media. He had to answer strictly Chase Claypool-related questions for about 7 minutes. I forget which reporter it was that had about a 5 or 6 question back and forth with him, but he hammered him, and it should have been because the handling of that situation, I talked about it on our video this morning, was just ridiculous. It doesn't have to be this difficult. Like, he doesn't handle situations well. It's just absolutely absurd. So good on the Bears media for getting out of it. Santi says Larry Borum was so shocking. Oh, and Lucas said at least the Heat have Jimmy Bucket. Emo Jimmy. Rolly, official statement on Jimmy Butler's look at Media Day today?
By this time next week, he will look like normal Jimmy Butler.
Well, yeah, he did this last year.
He just likes to
it's a bit.
F around and have fun. He was on actually an interview with Taylor Rooks and was just like, yeah, I just wanted to represent my emotions from the last week because I was angry and then I was sad, then I was excited and then sad again, but now I'm excited. You just can't see it because I'm not smiling.
He says they're going to go through Milwaukee and win the title.
Hey, listen, they've had Milwaukee's number over the last 4 years. They've had Boston's number over the last 4 years.
Yeah. See what happens.
So this is Bears show.
Should the Bears fire Matt Eberflus? Type F for fire or K for keep. What say you? What should the Bears do with Matt Eberflus? Let us know in the comments of today's show. Walter says F. Wasim, Ogden, Mike all saying F. Ron Winarski, Georgia Rebel saying F. John K says keep him. So does Nuke the Whale says keep him. Georgia says fire. I'd say it's about 90% fire. Fire that mofo from Psycho Bone. Larry says fire. Brandon and Brian say fire. Mike says fire. RW says fire. So does Jeremy S. Ray says fire. Fire the Three Stooges. It's ugly, man. It is absolutely ugly. I want to get to the live poll question as well real quick. and then we'll jump into the latest Bears news and rumors here in just a moment. But just an interesting question I want to pose for you guys. And luckily you don't have to decide right now. But if you had to pick right now, not 3 months from now, today, and the reason I say that is because right now you have the number 1 pick. Who would you pick to be the 2024 quarterback? You're Ryan Poles. Would you pick Justin Fields, or would you pick Caleb Williams? And you can factor in everything. You can factor in getting a haul for trading the number 1 pick. You can factor in you want to see Justin Fields with a different coaching staff. You can factor in everything. If you had to pick right now, what are you doing? Because there's a lot of things to consider. You could reset the rookie clock with Williams. Rookie control for 5 years. Fields would be entering year 4 next year. There's a lot of things at stake here. Ogden says Justin Fields, Caleb Williams from Viper. Paula says Justin Fields, Mike Nintendo, Ron, Nuke, and Wasim all going Caleb Williams. Ernest says Justin Fields. Anthony says Caleb Williams. Roel says Caleb Williams if his dad is cool with it. I'm just not buying that story.
I'd be typing my DMs.
Drake May, and that's what Rolly's rolling with.
Trade Caleb Williams.
Trade number 1 pick for a haul. Draft Drake May number 2.
Trade Justin Fields. Trade the number 1 pick for a haul. Take Caleb Williams. Drake May. Championships.
Just an interesting 67% say Fields. I put this on the YouTube community tab, and it was closer to 50-50. So I also put it on my Twitter, so feel free to go vote over there at HGramNFL. All right, couple super chats. Then we'll get this thing popping here. Remember, $10 super chats. We're taking shots. I got the beer bong, too. $50. I'll rip some beer bongs. Why not? It's Overreaction Monday. Bears are 0-4. Just got to have fun at this point. Shaq McNair, Jimmy Buckets looks like that one auntie that looks down on others and drives a Kia truck. It's pretty good, Shaq. Pretty good. Daily basis, I still like Fields, but it would be better for his career if the Bears traded him to a team like Atlanta. Mike Vick with even better athletic traits. See, dude, I would just puke if he went somewhere else and was awesome. Like, I could so see it happening, too. That's the disgusting part. What's up? Let's go. We're back, baby. We're back. If you're ready for today's show to start, hit that like button. Ooh, Lucas.
I am very disappointed in the like number today.
Yeah, 516 people watching, 73 likes.
That is bad.
That's just not what Rolly's looking for.
You guys say, no more North Carolina quarterbacks. You guys drafted an Ohio State quarterback and thought he was going to be good. Ohio State quarterbacks stink. C.J. Stroud might be the first good Ohio State quarterback ever.
Hey, you calm down over there.
I'm just saying. You guys want to go and slander the good name of North Carolina.
Don't blame Fields for the Bears screwing him, all right?
Just saying.
I've made this point. You can't pass on Drake May because of where he went to school. If you don't like him, that's fine. But
no one is ever saying Drake May stinks. They're always just saying no more UNC quarterbacks.
They're scarred from Trubisky. They would have said the same thing if they drafted Stroud. You know that's true.
Drake May is miles better than what Mitch Trubisky was back then.
I agree.
Miles.
Which makes it even more ridiculous that Ryan Pace traded up from 3 to 2 to draft Mitch. just ridiculously absurd. We got to get to 200 likes. 158. Let's get to 200. Lucas Sprang here, trade idea. We'll hit this in the mailbag too, Rolly. Fields to Falcons at the deadline for a 2024 second and a 2025 fourth. I'll tell you what, Rolly, you help run our Falcons channel. You've kind of been on the page of Fields in Atlanta would be fascinating.
Him and Bijan would have one hell of a 1-2 punch running in the backfield.
I think Arthur Smith could use him properly. Reminiscent of obviously Mike Vick playing there.
It's a better O-line in Atlanta.
Definitely better than Desmond Ridder. Ritter's brutal, dude.
They're both bottom 5. Let's just say that.
Ridder is brutal. But yeah, it's interesting, Lucas.
You guys want to slander North Carolina quarterbacks, by the way? There's going to be 2 of them starting this week. Take that one.
Yeah, Trubisky's probably going to start in Pitt. And who's the other one?
Sammy.
Oh, Sam Howell. Yeah, Thursday night. How could I forget?
You guys are going to watch a North Carolina quarterback fuck on the Bears this Thursday.
God, Rolly is just, you know what? This is upsetting me, this energy right now. Isaiah says, is it feasible to trade Fields? Yeah, here's the thing, Rolly. You don't really see those midseason quarterback trades very often. Like the Carson Palmer one years ago is one that stands out to Oakland. I
am, Mike.
What's a notable one that's happened?
Mid-season?
The Palmer one's like the one I can remember. for like someone to actually go start right away.
Jimmy G.
Baker last year, kind of, or did he get cut?
Jimmy G in 2016.
I think Baker got cut actually. Yeah, Jimmy G.
Traded to San Francisco and started the last 4 or 5 games for them.
He actually didn't they win like 5 in a row
They didn't
that
lose.
year?
They were undefeated with Jimmy G.
Yeah. So it's not like there's no evidence of it happening. All right. Appreciate you guys for tuning in.
This is a good comment by MVP, by the way. Only draft shooting guards from North Carolina. That's a good one.
Anti-Rolly team from Steven. Laktara in shambles.
Oh, they want me fired because I said I'm a North Carolina football truther. Sorry, that's my favorite college team.
That is a squad. All right, here's what's coming up live on the show. The latest Bears news and rumors. We have a Teven Jenkins update. Got to talk more about Matt Eberflus in this Chase Claypool situation. Plus, what is the future for Chase Claypool? I don't think it's in Chicago. I think that's pretty obvious. Live Q&A. We'll take your questions. #Bears or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. And Mock Draft Monday. Might as well keep it rolling. The Bears have the top 2 picks in the NFL draft currently. We're just going to do a 4-round mock today, so stay tuned for that. All of that and more is coming up here on Chicago Bears Now. It's Chicago Bears Overreaction Monday. My name is Harrison Graham. Welcome to Bears Now. Let's kick things off here. Chase Claypool, is he done in Chicago? Yeah, as the kids say, it's Jover. 4 smoking Jays on this one. Bear down. It's over for Chase in Chicago. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I guess you can leave it in question for now because technically he's still on the roster, but this is one of those 99.9%ers, and that's 4 smoking Jays for me. I mean, Matt Eberflus today got peppered by the local media, which he should have, by the way, for mishandling the whole Claypool situation yesterday. If you missed all that, go check out our video from earlier today. But Flus said Claypool will not be at Hallis Hall this week as they prepare for the Commanders. Obviously, he will not play on Thursday Night Football. He didn't straight up say he won't be back, but when you have this quote from Matt Eberflus when he was asked about the future of Claypool, he said, Ryan handles all the trades and transactions, and we'll decide that as we go forward. Of course, reports came out from Jordan Schultz and others that the Bears are trying to trade Chase Claypool for hopefully a 5th or 6th round pick. The Claypool experiment is over in Chicago. It's done. You took the L. It's over with. So it is what it is, right? I mean, you look at how it's gone here. It hasn't been good. In 10 games, he caught 18 total passes for 191 yards and a touchdown. I mean, I think I tweeted this out earlier, and I'll say it again here. If you told me if you came up with the worst case scenario after they traded for Claypool, I think Claypool and the Bears managed to top it. I mean, there's just no way I would have thought it would have gone this poorly. It's just unbelievable. And fair or not, it's a stain on Ryan Poles as this team's general manager. There's a lot of blame to go around. I don't think Claypool ever fully bought in. I think he's been a problem in the locker room. I don't think the coaches used him properly. I do agree with Claypool on that when he was asked if he was used properly. I don't think he should have answered it the way he did, but I don't think they used him to his strengths, which has been a problem for this staff with several players. But this is Poles' worst move as general manager. I mean, there's just no doubt about it, and he's had some other questionable ones, but this one by far, I mean, you trade a 2nd-round pick that you didn't know was going to be the number 32 pick at the time, but became that, which is a fringe 1st-round pick, is a 1st-round pick most years, for a guy who literally did nothing. You won 0 games with him on your team. I mean, think about that. Just brutal. There's no way around it. You got fleeced by Pittsburgh, and it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is completely over, and Ryan Poles has to wear this one. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Now, here's the question. Pin comment on today's show, and after this YouTube ad break, I will give my thoughts on this, and we'll explore it more. Will a team actually trade for Chase Claypool? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Pin comment, go answer during this YouTube ad break, and when the break ends, I will give more thoughts on this. All right, so are the Bears going to be able to find a trade for Chase Claypool? I think he's done in Chicago. That's 4 smoking Jays. But an actual trade, I'm actually only going to go 2. People are talking. I think it's possible. But, A, if you do find a trade, it's not going to be much capital at all. You're talking probably a conditional pick, 6th or 7th rounder, and certain incentives have to be met: games active, stats, etc. And B, most teams around the league are probably like, well, we won't trade for him. We might sign him if you cut him, but we're not going to trade for him. These are some teams that I've seen rumored, and I just think that could make sense. Carolina, there was a report that came out. They're looking for another weapon for Bryce Young. You obviously have that trade partnership in place right now with the DJ Moore trade, so maybe that something could happen there for a late-round pick. Two divisional teams. Green Bay pushed hard at the deadline last year for Claypool. The Bears ended up offering more. I think Detroit could use another receiver. Now, do you want to trade interdivision? I wouldn't be afraid of facing Claypool. Like, if I can get any pick for him, I would take it. So I would trade him to Detroit or Green Bay. Kansas City Chiefs, they've had some problems at receiver this year. That's a team that gives guys second, third chances. If anybody could get the most out of Claypool, it's them. And then there was a report out there that Philadelphia could add another receiver. They take chances as well. Jalen Carter's worked out. Good at work out with Claypool there. I wouldn't be surprised. Howie Roseman loves to roll the dice, and I could see him potentially considering this as well. Now, if I'm running a team, based on what I've seen in the last 11 months with the Chicago Bears, I would not trade for Chase Claypool. That's just me. Now, are there teams out there that might trade a conditional 6th or 7th? Yeah, I think I just listed a few that make some sense, but the guy has just not been a pro. It'd be one thing if the production was just lacking, but clearly he's causing problems in the locker room. Otherwise, the Bears wouldn't take this stance 4 weeks into the season. So I wouldn't make this move for Claypool. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt for last year, give him a chance this year, and it just has not worked out. And I think it's pretty clear that he is hitting the road. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Get the best tickets for the best prices right now with the Game Time app. Be sure to download it today. Buying tickets for a concert, a comedy show, a sporting event, or anything else, it shouldn't be frustrating, guys. It should be very easy and very painless, and with Game Time it is. With other ticketing apps, not so much. Game Time's goal for you is to have a peace of mind with your purchase and to help you save as much money as possible when you purchase your tickets. Whether you're going to a Bears game, a Bulls game, an awesome concert, or any other event, Game Time wants you to have the best experience possible. And by the way, looking for last-minute tickets, Game Time has the best deals for you. If you want to go to Bears-Vikings in a couple of weeks, you can do so. By the way, what's cool about the Game Time app, they'll show you exactly what your vantage point is, depending on the arena that you're purchasing in, stadium, arena, concert venue, whatever. You can see exactly what you're going to see when you actually get there, and that's critical, right? You don't want to have some random thing in front of you, some kind of blockage where you can't see the game. That's why they have these images on screen to show you exactly where your seats are. And what's cool about this deal, promo code BearsChat after you download the Game Time app and create an account will get you $20 off. So here's what you do. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and then use promo code BearsChat when you sign off. You're going to sign up. You're going to get $20 off your first order today. It's Game Time. Last-minute tickets for the lowest price guaranteed with the Game Time app. All right, we continue here on Chicago Bears Now, Overreaction Monday. Teven Jenkins, is he returning this week? I'll go 3 smoking Jays. We don't know with 100% certainty at the exact moment of this filming if he will play on Thursday, but I do think there's a good possibility, and we're definitely trending that way because Matt Eberflus announced that the Bears have opened Jenkins' practice window, which means they have 21 days to activate him off of IR. He is eligible to return from injured reserve this week because he has set out the first 4 weeks of the season, which short-term IR forces you to miss at least 4 weeks. Now, short week, Thursday Night Football, that could keep him out since he hasn't been able to practice up to this point, and obviously this week, you might have one light practice leading up to Thursday Night Football, but I'll tell you what, Teven Jenkins would provide a boost. There's no doubt about it. The offensive line has had issues again. I think at times it's been serviceable, but overall you haven't gotten what we were hoping would be a much improved unit. Now, part of that is because of these injuries to Teven Jenkins, Braxton Jones, etc., but getting him back would be big. Now, here's the question. As you look at the offensive line, Larry Borom at left tackle, Cody Whitehair at left guard, obviously Cody Whitehair at center. Where does Teven Jenkins plug in? Obviously, the plan was for him to play left guard, and I think that would probably be what they do. So, okay, you plug him in there. Does Cody Whitehair go to the bench, or does he go back to center where he practiced all offseason and you bench Lucas Patrick? Or do you consider playing Teven Jenkins at left tackle, which the prior regime drafted him to be? Now, I've always thought he's better at guard. He's right on the fringe of what you want your tackles to have in terms of arm length. But I think he is athletic enough to be a decent tackle. I think he's a better guard, but you just wonder if you're trying, the old adage, get your best 5 out there. Is playing him at left tackle getting your best 5 out there? Possibly. It's definitely a possibility. I thought Larry Borom struggled against Denver, but he played okay in week 3 against Kansas City, but I did not think he was good this week. Had 2 brutal penalties, got beat on multiple speed rushes. It's tricky. I don't think I would put Jenkins back out there at tackle because you've just moved him around so much already. But I do wonder what this Bears coaching staff is going to do with him because if you put him at left guard, you basically have to decide between Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patrick in terms of who's going to play at center. So what do you think? Will Teven Jenkins play on Thursday night? Type P for play or W for won't. I could also see a scenario where he's active but doesn't start since he hasn't had the practice time and obviously coming off a short week. And then you got 10 days to prepare for week 6. That could be a scenario as well. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, they got to activate him off IR first before they do anything else. Speaking of Thursday Night Football, we will be live for a Bears versus Commanders watch party. Be sure to join us here on the channel. We'll go live at 6 o'clock Central Time on Thursday night. Kickoff, I believe, 7:15, 7:20 from FedEx Field. Can the Bears snap a 14-game losing streak? Well, they couldn't hold on to a 21-point lead against Denver, but you know what? Rolly and I are going to be here and watch it along with all of you. So subscribe, turn on your notifications. We, of course, will see you every game day, including this Thursday night. All right, continuing things here on Overreaction Monday. Did we just watch Justin Fields' best game ever? I think we did. 4 smoking Jays, bear down, at least as a passer. I think that was very much on display. And I know what people are going to say, Denver, the late game turnovers, and that's all valid. But there were multiple, more than just a couple, several throws in this game where you're just like, that's a big boy, I don't care who you're playing against throw right there. There was a slant to DJ Moore where Larry Borom, and quite frankly Darnell Wright too, completely just got beat on speed rushes. He stays in there and sidearm flicks about a 12-yard slant while getting cracked into a tight window right on the money. And there were 5 or 6 throws like that on this tape where you're just like, dude, like, yes, that's what we've wanted. Pulled the trigger. You've got the arm talent. You can do it. I mean, the numbers were very impressive. 28 of 35, 335, 4 touchdowns. The late game pick, which both Cole Kmet and Justin, they basically just said we weren't on the same page. Justin thought he was going to do one thing. Cole did the other, and that's how that goes sometimes. Obviously, bad time to do it when you're down 3 and you're at about midfield trying to get into field goal range. But other than that, and obviously the play-action boot, scoop, and score where he got rocked right after he turned on the play fake, he played a damn near perfect game. He was 23 of 24 to start with the 1 incompletion being a Hail Mary attempt. I get it. It's Denver. I get it. The way it ended is not how you want to. But, like, can you mentally find a way to build off of this? Now, I'm not going to go full Matt Eberflus and say, we've got momentum. Let's go. No, you don't. You don't have momentum. You blew a big lead against a bad football team. Turnovers late. Defense fell apart. Like, you don't have momentum. But can you, when the dust settles a little bit here, maybe by tomorrow, look at this and be like, there was a lot of really good stuff in here. Like, he played like a damn good NFL quarterback yesterday. Now, it's one game against a bad team. Can he do it again? Can he do it against Washington on the road on Thursday night with your backs against the wall again? You're under a lot of pressure to start winning games. If you can, that's some steps in the right direction. If not, if it's another setback game, then, well, this game against Denver probably doesn't end up meaning that much. If you're rooting for Justin Fields, I am. I'm going to root for him as long as he's here. Type JF1. Even if you're not a believer, I mean, you got to root for the kid. I mean, he's playing as hard as he can. He's doing everything he can. Whether or not he's the long-term answer, that remains to be seen. My biggest fear is he goes somewhere else and lights it up because you see the talent. You just do. I mean, the physical tools are all there. JF1, if you're rooting for Justin Fields, I really hope he can make this work. All right, guys, loaded show today. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you have any questions or just want to talk some ball, hit me up on Twitter at HGramNFL. That is where you can find me on social media. Same handle on Instagram as well, at HGramNFL. Buck Melanoma with a super chat here. Appreciate it, Buck. Shouldn't have replaced 2 shitty guys, I think is what you're going for, but YouTube would have blocked that. Named Ryan and Matt with 2 guys named Ryan and Matt maybe, huh? like dating a chick with your mom's name. Coop made this exact statement, one of our producers,
I'll
earlier
say
today.
This. That's a tough thing to do.
That is pretty brutal.
I actually think all girls that have my mom's name is eliminated from dating contention.
Is it a standard name? Like, what's your mom's name? I don't want to.
It's actually not. It's Christine/Chris. So you don't meet a lot of that many girls.
Christine is not like an abnormal
But still,
name.
like, you just simply
So
can't have
if
that
you
happen.
met the girl of your dreams, blind date,
there is
awesome date, but her name's Christine, you're out?
I think you have to. Listen, it's just you don't want to. It just would be weird.
I get it. That's tough, though, man. That would suck.
It would suck. She could be a really good friend.
What if you were like, hey, I'm all in, but you got to change your name? Would you? If you changed your name, would you be in?
Yes.
This is the Loctara hypothetical.
This is a
right
Loctara
here.
hypothetical. As long as I don't have to call you my mom's name.
I will say, you get to holidays and stuff, and the families. Christine, yes, that would be brutal.
It's just a nightmare scenario. I don't want to deal with.
Isaiah, I don't believe we have ever fired a coach midseason. Could this be the year that changes? The answer is yes. They have never fired a coach midseason. I also think the answer is yes, that could happen this year. You have a perfect opportunity if you lose at Washington on Thursday night. Mini bye, 0-5, 15 losses in a row, chaos inside the building. That's the perfect time to do it, if we're being honest. If you're going to do it midseason, you lose this week, the time is now. Like, when else is going to be a better time? I mean, you could wait till week 13 for your actual bye week, but why? And before anyone says, and people have been asking me, well, who's going to take over if you do that? Who cares? Jeff Saturday was on his couch last year, got called up by Jim Irsay and finished the season. He was a joke, but they were able to finish the season because, again, you're not making that decision to try and, make the playoffs this year. You're 0-5. You're making that decision because you're sending a message, A, to other coaches on the staff, and B, to the fan base, like, yeah, we're not going to settle for this crap. That's what you're doing. So I think it could happen. If they lose Thursday night, I wouldn't be shocked. Would I predict it necessarily? No, because they've never done it. But Kevin Warren hasn't been here before either. I think that's a wild card in this whole thing. So just keep those things in mind. If you're rooting for Justin Fields, get the JF1s going. We got the conductor, John Brown, done with it. In there, we got another Josh, Anthony, Ryan as well, Fabs, Daquan, Michael Ortman, Immortal, J-Dev. We got Davey, Wasim, custom name as well. Thanks, everybody, for lighting up the chat. All 700 people watching right now, you guys are legit. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Rolly and I are here every single day here on Chicago Bears Now, and we go live every Monday, Thursday, and game day. And this week, by the way, since we're live on Thursday Night Football as our game day, we'll also be live on Friday. We'll go live Friday. It'll be Overreaction Friday instead of Overreaction Monday, so be sure to join us for that. All right, it's mailbag time. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions answered here on the show. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions in. Go ahead and load them up if you haven't already. Trade ideas, questions about the coaching staff, coaching replacements, whatever it is, we'll answer those questions here on the channel. So use hashtag Bears or Super Chat right now to get those questions in. Let me see what he's got here. Yeah, we can throw that in there. That's fine. Hit the social first. Get that trade in there too from earlier, whatever Super Chat that was, that Falcons one. All right, hashtag Bears Super Chat. Oh, let's get Pat Fitzgerald. Oh boy, here we go. Let's have some fun here on this mailbag video. Then after this mailbag, we will pull this up real quick. We will do Mock Draft Monday. Until further notice, we can do a little beardy action. Yeah. All right. Hashtag Bears Super Chat. It is mailbag time here on the channel. This Chicago Bears mailbag is presented by Manscaped. Keep yourself nice and trimmed upstairs, downstairs, everywhere with the best men's grooming products on the planet. It is Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use promo code BEARS20. That's going to get you 20% off. My name is Harrison Graham. Time to answer your questions here on today's show. We kick things off with our good old pal, F. Marsh. Is Matt Eberflus fired if the Bears lose on Thursday Night Football to the Commanders, he asks. I think it's got to be on the table, F. Marsh. Listen, like, what are you waiting for if you lose that game? You would be 0-5 on the year at that point. You're already 0-4 to start 2023. You would then be 3-19. You're 3-18 now. Depending if it's a one-score game, you could fall to 1-9 in one-score games. That would be your 15th straight loss, and then it would be, quick math, 346 days without a win. Like, why wait? Like, why freaking wait if you lose on Thursday? Hell, I would have done it now. In fact, like, part of me doesn't want to win on Thursday because that probably delays the inevitable, right? Like, you win Thursday, you almost can't fire the guy after a win. So I think if you lose Thursday, you make the move Friday morning. Make John Hoke the interim or whoever. If you want to give it to Luke Getsy, I don't love that idea, but if you want to do that, that's fine. And then you play the rest of the season out, and you get a head start on your coaching search. That's what I would do. Will they do it? I don't know. They've never fired a coach midseason, but Kevin Warren wasn't here before either. You wonder what he's thinking watching all of this unfold. What say you? Will Matt Eberflus be fired if the Bears lose on Thursday? Not what you want to happen. Predict it for us. Like, I want to know what you guys think because I'm not convinced it actually would happen because the Bears have never done it before. But I think it would be on the table. I think it's a real possibility. Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Let me know what you guys think. Got a question from Lucas Prang. Appreciate the super chat. He says, trade idea. Fields to the Falcons at the deadline for a 2024 second-round pick and a 2025 fourth. My first reaction is that trade package feels about right, especially if Fields plays pretty good football the next few weeks, if he can build off his performance against Denver and put some things together. I don't think he could play well enough over the next month to get a first-round pick, but I think a second and a day 3 pick is on the table. I mean, Trey Lance went for a fourth, and he's basically never played. So I think Fields for a day 2 pick and a day 3 pick could be possible. Would I do it? Probably not. I would do this trade in the offseason if you've decided you're moving on, obviously. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, if this team's 1-6, 1-7, hell, 0 before the trade deadline, you wonder if everything's on the table for this football team. Christian, feel bad for Justin Fields. He has so much talent that's being wasted in Chicago. Yeah, look, I think Fields has to wear some of the blame. I don't think the development has been as fast as we'd hoped, and I don't think he's been consistent enough. But I do agree that I think he would have been much better in about 20 other cities in this league. I just do. I mean, the Bears have a track record of not developing quarterbacks. That is what they are known for, not developing quarterbacks. So, I do think his full potential is not being reached, largely due to being in Chicago, but I think some of that's got to fall on his shoulders too. Like, he's got to elevate. He's got to rise above. The elite ones find a way. Maybe he can continue to play well after that Denver game. Sammy R., if we had to draft a quarterback, I like Bo Nix better, more on-field experience. I mean, look, will Bo Nix have more starts in his college career than Caleb Williams? Yes. But Caleb Williams will be close to a full 3-year starter after the season. He started half of 2021, all of last year, and he's going to start all of this year barring an injury. That's more than enough experience. What you don't want is to draft the guys who've played 1 year in college, like Mitch Trubisky. Like, Trubisky, I think, would have been a much better pro had he stayed 1 more year at North Carolina. I don't blame him for coming out because he was number 2 overall pick. It's a lot of money. But Bo Nix, to me, is a day 2 guy. I don't think he goes first round. But if you do go the day 2 route, like, say you're still in between on Fields, but you at least want to ramp up the pressure, then a guy like Nix on day 2 could be interesting. Crossover, Larry Borum seriously made me want to not become a Bears fan ever again. All I want for Fields is to have a decent year and get 2 pretty high draft picks. I mean, that was the dream coming into this year, and in some ways still is, but 0-4 start and 3 of the 4 games for Fields haven't been very good. That was the goal, right, is him play well. And, well, you didn't want your own pick to be bad. I mean, ideally, you would have at least had a chance in the month of December to flirt with the playoff spot. That ship pretty much has sailed, barring a miraculous turnaround. But you were hoping at least Carolina's pick would be high, obviously, and you could get a good player there, and you could still get another good player with your own pick. Now you're going to have 2 really high picks, and unfortunately, whether it's fair or not, that probably means you're moving on from Justin Fields. Could that change? Yeah, you still have 13 games to go here. But right now, I think if you had to guess one way or another, you would say that the Bears are going to draft a quarterback. Now, what you guys should be drafting is the Beard Hedger Pro Kit from Manscaped, because today's show is sponsored by Manscaped, who has stepped up from ball-o-ween to clean your face, the cleanest shave it's ever seen. So this season, no need to toil and trouble. Manscaped's all-new Beard Hedger Pro Kit is what you guys want. We've been telling you guys about the Beard Hedger for a while. It's a premium beard trimmer, brand new product in the last 12 months. Use code BEARS20 to get 20% off plus free shipping. This is the product I've been using for the last 9-12 months because I tried other beard trimmers, and I've always had trouble trimming my beard for whatever reason. You get hair tug, and it's just not, a clean shave. Well, with Manscaped, this product, it absolutely is. And if you get the full Pro Kit, you get the conditioner, the shampoo that you can put in your beard. You get the comb, you get the scissors, you get the brush as well. A couple of other products in there, and it all comes in one little kit for you guys. You can take it on the road. Goodbye to multiple guards. That's the best part about the Beard Hedger. You don't have to fill up your drawer anymore. You have one guard you put on there and a 20 rotation device, regardless of how much you want to trim or not. The Beard Hedger from Manscaped. You are not going to regret it. Manscaped.com. Use promo code BEARS20, and that's going to get you 20% off plus free shipping. Go check them out. If you're a beard fella like me, you will not regret it. Link is in the comments and in the description. Troy Robinson, I think our defensive coordinator resignation will keep Flus on for the year. If he gets fired, who calls the defense? This is the one thing that has been discussed, on Bears Twitter, et cetera, and that I've thought about as well. I still don't think it's a good enough reason to not make a move, but it's a legitimate thing where, Al Williams is gone. If you fire Flus, someone's got to run the defense. I got to think John Hoke could do that. He's coached in this league for over 20 years. Dave Borgonzi could do it. He's been with Eberflus for several years now. He's the linebackers coach going back to Indianapolis with Flus. Someone can call the defense. It's Tampa 2. It's 4-3. It's not complicated. That's the whole discussion, right? There's nothing complicated about it. So someone can call the defense. Could it get sloppy? Yeah, it's already sloppy. Who cares? That's kind of my when I come back to it. When I hear all these, well, who takes over? Who does this? If it gets a little worse, does it really matter? It's already a disaster. Just get through the season and get a new staff in here for next year. The Gabo fire Matt. Get Lovie Smith for head coach. Give him 2 times the normal salary. I love Lovie Smith, but it's over. We're not going backwards. If they wanted to bring him in, if they fired Flus to help you get through this season in some kind of role, in some weird interim head coach situation, sure. Long term, no. Lovie has not been good since he left Chicago, guys. I love Lovie Smith, but that's just the reality of the situation. Mike Nintendo, would you draft Caleb Williams or Drake May? I like both. If both are available, I'm taking Caleb Williams, but I like Drake May a lot. But if you get the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, it's going to be hard to say no to this guy. Amazingly, he's putting up better numbers than last year. His completion percentage has jumped 9%. He's only thrown 1 interception, which was this past week against Colorado. He runs when he needs to, but he's always keeping his eyes downfield. And, yeah, I got people hitting me up. Dude, he's got 8 seconds to throw and this and that. Yeah, in the NFL, he's not always going to, be able to just buy a million seconds and throw the ball downfield. But you still like guys who can create like that, and he's pretty good from the pocket as well. Could he get better there? Yeah, absolutely. No prospect is perfect, but he is a dynamic playmaker, and if you get that top selection, it's going to be hard to pass on this kid. Ken, 1973, LOL, any one of us can call the defense. That's how bad it is. It's kind of my point, right? Could we literally call it? Probably not, but surely someone on that staff can call the defense for 12 games if they fire him after Washington on Thursday. So it's just not a good enough excuse for me. I hear what you're saying. I understand what people say, well, who takes over? Yeah, logistically, you have to figure that out if you're Ryan Poles or whoever makes the firing. But That's not a good enough reason. You got 20 coaches on staff. Somebody can do it for a dozen games. Subscribe and join us. It's going to be something to watch on Thursday Night Football. Can't believe they ran this game back, by the way, on TNF. Remember how brutal it was last year? Shout out Goodell for running it back. Rolly and I will be live, 6 o'clock Central, 7:20 kickoff time on Thursday night. Can the Bears get a win? Could it be Matt Eberflus' last game as this team's head coach? I think everything's on the table. Hit that subscribe button and join us on Thursday night, 6 o'clock Central time. Daquan Williams, why is the defense not forcing turnovers? What happened to the hits principles? Well, we've said it for a few weeks. It's the shits principles. And by the way, I kind of poked fun on hits on Twitter on Monday. The top 2 highest graded linebackers this year per PFF, Roquan Smith, Nicholas Morrow, who played with the Bears last year. You traded Roquan. Morrow was not good here. And look, Morrow's not the second best linebacker in the NFL, but it's just kind of comical, right? It's so typical. In his career, the worst year of his career is with the Bears. I mean, why wouldn't it be? And I kind of just said, the hits just keep on coming for the Bears. Yeah, the hits principle sucks. DC Viper, if you draft Caleb Williams, do you draft Marvin Harrison Jr., Joe Alt, or Dallas Turner with their second first-round pick? If you're picking in the top 5, I think that's a little rich for Dallas Turner right now. Joe Alt, maybe. I like Olu Fashanu better, the Penn State left tackle, but Alt's a stud too. The Notre Dame tackle's legit. The idea of pairing a legit tackle with Darnell Wright is starting to intrigue me. You got to get better in the trenches. And I like Braxton Jones, but he's on IR with a neck injury. I don't think we really know what's going on there. Hopefully it's not serious, but maybe he can kick inside. Worst case, he's your swing tackle. Like, if Braxton Jones is your swing tackle, you feel damn good about that because he's played some good football. So I just am growing on the idea of if you can have those bookend tackles for the next 7 to 10 years, that's pretty appealing to me. Couple more here. Davey Streb, right? Jim Harbaugh, blank check. They said no to that idea last time. That was the big rumor that Harbaugh would have done it, but he wanted player personnel control and he wanted major money. Do you want to give those two things up? If you do, what does that mean for Ryan Poles? I don't know. I don't think they would give up player personnel to a head coach, but blank check, if, it's not my money, I would take Jim Harbaugh. He's definitely better than what you got. Speaking of what you got, who you got on Thursday Night Football, type CHI for the Bears, WAS for the Washington Commanders. Who do you guys think wins on Thursday night? Bincy Beast, Sanders or Ewers? Shador Sanders or Quinn Ewers? I like Shador right now. I do think there's a good chance he goes back to Colorado, though, for another year, gets another year of Power 5 college football experience. That would be his 4th year of playing in college, by the way. 2 years at Jackson State, 2 at Colorado. That'd be a ton of valuable experience. Quinn Ewers is more of a traits guy, cannon for an arm, pretty mobile. I need more consistency there. I want to see how he plays the rest of the season. I would lean Shador because he's much more accurate, in my opinion, than Quinn Ewers right now. But I think both would probably go in the first round if they both come out. Colin Cameron, Bill Belichick as head coach. Can we bring Lovey back? I mean, calling Grandma and Grandpa here? You want to go Bill Belichick if the Patriots move on. By the way, that would be such a Bears move. And look, Belichick, he's the GOAT. He's not whatever. He's top 2-3 coach of all time. He's probably still the GOAT, if we're being honest. But, could you imagine if Robert Kraft forces him out and the Bears are like, oh, my God, this guy's available. He's the GOAT. Let's bring him in here. That would be terrible. You can't – no. That's like when they brought in John Fox, who was half retired, and he was like, wait, y'all are going to give me $20 million? Okay. Now, Bill Belichick's much better than John Fox. That's not what I'm trying to say. But producer Rolly, who's a Patriots fan, he's even chuckling right now. He wants him out. He wants him out of New England. Do not hire 71-year-old Bill Belichick if he becomes available. And Lovie Smith, that shit, it's over. That ship has sailed. Augustine, how high would you have Ben Johnson on the candidates list? Very high. Top 3. Maybe 1. I don't know. He's up there, man. He's reinvigorated Jared Goff. That offense is fun to watch. I know David Montgomery's not running for 5 yards per carry, but he's using them properly. Ground and pound behind that offensive line. They're doing some good things up in Detroit, as much as it hurts to say. Appreciate all the questions here on this mailbag video. If you didn't get your question answered, you can ask me on social media at HGramNFL on Instagram. Same handle on Twitter. I'll catch up on some DMs, and we can talk some ball over there at HGram NFL. All right, who you got? Ken 1973 sent in a 10, by the way, so I'll take a shot for that one. Cheers. Cheers to that. By the way, we're $20 away from 200. Beer bongs are 50, but if we cross 200, I'll take one down. I'll take down a beer bong. Up to you guys. Up to you guys. William says Chicago. Kyle Ware says Washington. Larry says Washington. Colin says Chicago. Hire John Fox. Absolutely not. Eric Bieniemy, he's up there for me. He's top 5 right now, probably. Get a good look at Eric Bieniemy this week. I mean, really, more on the could you fire Flus. If Eric Bieniemy outcoaches Matt Eberflus, offense versus defense this week, it's just more evidence, right? More evidence. Andre says Washington. Wasim says Washington. Lori Lightfoot for head coach. I don't think that's happening. I think I'd rather keep Flus. Lenny says Eric Bieniemy. Ben Johnson, head coach. Lincoln Riley is OC. Guys, I'm going to say this nicely. A college football head coach at a top 10 historic program like USC is not leaving that post to be an NFL offensive coordinator. He would maybe not leave that to be an NFL head coach. Like, it's just not happening. People don't realize, like, these premier college jobs are more valuable than most NFL jobs, believe it or not. Now, they're more work because you have to recruit. It's like 2 full-time jobs. You have to coach and recruit. NFL, obviously it's a busy job, but it's more about coaching. But the USC head coach would not leave to be an NFL OC under any circumstance. There's just no way that would ever happen. So, just want to be clear on that. He's making $100 million. He's never leaving. You never know. You could say, hey, bring your boy Caleb Williams. Come be our head coach. I think it'd be appealing. I don't know if he'd do it. And that's the thing, too. We got to keep that clear. Even if you wanted Lincoln Riley as your head coach, he may not do it. Teams have expressed interest in the past. He hasn't made the jump. I don't know if he's been offered, but I know there's been interest from the NFL. There absolutely has. All right, one more segment to go as we keep things rolling here on our live show. Chicago Bears Now. We've got Mock Draft Monday. Bears Mock Draft 2.0. We're already at 2.0, and we're barely into the month of October.
We might have a second mock draft this week.
Friday. We might run it back.
I got to wait till Monday to see where we'd stand again.
I'll be honest, Rolly. It feels weird saying this because you don't like calling for people's jobs. It's their livelihoods. But Matt Eberflus has millions of dollars. He'll be okay.
DCX Vipers.
If they lose Thursday and fire him Friday, the Friday live stream is going to be electric.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
It could be generational stuff. So
I really do feel, Harrison, that the move will be made if they lose.
So you're in the camp of to be clear to the audience. You think they should do it, but you're also in the camp of if they lose Thursday, you think they will do it.
Yeah, no, I've been in the camp that they should fire him since last week's debacle.
Yeah.
And the blowout against Kansas City.
Now you got this Claypool bullshit.
Yeah,
you blew a big lead.
I think that really is the final straw, and then you add in actually on the field, you lose or you blow a 21-point lead in the second half.
Basically just the fourth quarter.
If you lose to a Commanders team, which I would say on paper, coming into the year, the Bears were expected to be significantly better than.
I don't know about significantly. That Commanders defense on paper is pretty damn good.
But no one expected the Commanders to be.
They're much better coached. That's obvious.
Yeah.
At best, overall, on paper, they're slightly
But I will
better
double down and say, obviously, I don't know anything when it comes to actual sources, blah blah blah. But if I had to just put money on something, I would bet that they fire Eberflus if they lose on Thursday.
There's just too many reasons to do it.
Yeah.
Get a head start on the coaching search. Start figuring out what you're thinking in the draft next year. You gotta you're 0-5 at that point. Flus isn't the guy. The wheels start turning toward 2024 very quickly. Very quickly. So,
all right, I saw a comment from Prune Juice significantly. Did people not have aspirations for the Bears to make the playoffs this year? Yes or no?
Yeah, I don't think it was a common
Anderson.
thing.
I just want to finish.
Okay.
The answer was yes.
Yes.
People thought that is a possibility this season.
Yeah, a possibility.
When you looked at the outlook of the Washington Commanders season,
yeah,
no one expected them to make the playoffs. Is it because of the division? Yes.
That played a role.
But you have a team in Chicago that people thought, hey,
there's an avenue.
Seasons move, third year for Fields, they could make the playoffs. No one really put that in the cards for Washington. So, yes, I do think the expectations for Chicago were significantly higher than Washington.
And take Washington out of it. They were not projected to go 0-4, lose their defensive coordinator, kick Claypool off the team, and potentially fire their head coach within the first month. No one saw this coming. This is a debacle, guys. Seriously. This is an absolute dumpster fire of a first month of a season. Think about everything that's transpired. You get blown out by your rivals at home, who, by the way, have not looked that good in their other 3 games in the Green Bay Packers. You lose at Tampa Bay. They're 3-1, okay. You were kind of in that game. It's not the worst thing ever looking back at it. But you turn around, you've got the Allen Williams saga. Still, we don't really know what happened there, which is fucking weird if we're being honest. Eberflus takes over on defense. The defense still sucks. You get blasted in Kansas City. Your head coach says, hey, we're close after losing by 31 points at Arrowhead Stadium. You actually come out and play pretty well against Denver, get up a 28-7 lead, and then you blow that. And then you've got this Claypool debacle on top of all of it. That's all happened in a month. That's not normal, even for this franchise. It's really not. So there's just no way to sit here and act like, it's not that shocking. I mean, I get it's the Bears. It can always get worse, but all that in a month, I don't think anybody signed up for that. All right, Mock Draft Monday coming at you. Give me just a sec, Rolly. Hannah just called me. Got to make sure it's nothing serious. Everything good. And we will hop into this this mock draft here. Here we go. Bears, top 2 selections. What do I do? Break it down next. I can't believe we're already on Chicago Bears Mock Draft 2.0, but welcome to the Bears experience. You're watching Bears Now by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham, and you got to do another mock draft this week as the Bears currently hold the top 2 picks in the 2024 NFL Draft. The Bears are 0-4, the Panthers are 0-4, only winless teams. So that means you got the top 2 picks right now. And before we jump into this mock, because obviously when you have the number 1 pick, drafting Caleb Williams is the common result, right? I want to ask you guys, though, before we dive in, if you had to decide today, not 3 months from now after the rest of the season plays out, today, who do you want is the Bears 2024 quarterback? If you could choose, type JF for Justin Fields or type CW for Caleb Williams. You got to make the call right now. Go ahead and make your pick down in the comments section. Okay, let's get into my mock draft 2.0, and my answer essentially right now is I got to go Caleb Williams. And there's a lot of factors. And let me just first say this. I'm rooting for Justin Fields as much as anyone else. I feel like I've been very clear on him. I think his talent is very good. I think he can be a franchise quarterback in this league. But he's been inconsistent, and fair or not with the coaching, the external factors, all that stuff, there are reasons why you would move on, especially if you get the number 1 pick. He played awesome against Denver. If he can do, similar stuff to this the rest of the season, the conversation could shift. And look, you would think you'd win some games in that scenario, and maybe you don't get the number 1 pick. Now, you still might get it because of Carolina, but long way from that happening, right? We're 4 games in. He's played 1 really good game, 1 so-so game, and 2 bad games. That's kind of what it is. So when you think about it here, the reason I'm going Caleb Williams, here's the reality. If the Bears land the number 1 pick, that likely means you get a new coaching staff. You're going to give Justin Fields a 3rd coaching staff to work with. That's pretty rare for a quarterback on a rookie contract. Resetting the clock on a rookie quarterback as well, just from a cap situation standpoint. You could start with Caleb Williams on a rookie quarterback deal, cheaper contract for up to 5 years, versus Justin Fields entering year 4. And then if he balls out, you got to pay him big money, which you'd be happy to do if he balled out. But the timeline could make sense if you're resetting with the coaching staff and potentially even the general manager. Caleb Williams is a generational talent. He's upped his accuracy this year to almost 75%. That's up from 65, 66 last year. He's thrown 1 interception this year, 21 touchdowns. He runs when he needs to, but when he escapes the pocket, he's always keeping his eyes downfield. Now, some of these plays where he holds the ball forever, you're not going to be able to do that in the NFL, but you can do some of that. We see quarterbacks in this league do some of it. The league is embracing guys like this more and more. And look, I'll be honest, I'd be shocked if they passed on Caleb Williams if they landed the number 1 pick. I just would. Again, fair or not to Fields. I am one of the biggest Justin Fields fans out there. I've been pretty clear about that on this channel, but we got to address the situation in reality, in terms of reality, and I think that's reality. If you get the top selection, that would mean back-to-back drafts of getting the number 1 pick. That almost feels like a sign. Hey, take the best quarterback available. This year, that is Caleb Williams. If you want more Bears mock drafts, prove it to us. Hit that subscribe button. If you guys keep tuning in and liking these videos and love these draft coverage and this content here on Bears Now, hit that sub button. Show the bosses that we can do more draft content moving forward. All right, with the number 2 pick, trade alert. I think if you get the top 2 selections, taking a quarterback number 1 and trading the number 2 pick could very much be on the table. The Las Vegas Raiders come calling. They move up from 3 to 2. I get the 3rd pick, obviously, the number 35 overall pick, so early 2nd-round pick, and a 3rd-round pick in 2025, which that's a pretty good haul moving down just 1 selection. But in this draft in particular, I would ask for a lot, even just to move down a slot here. Because think about it. Caleb Williams is already off the board. Drake May's a clear QB2, and then it's a drop-off. Who's the 3rd QB in this draft? Does Shedeur Sanders come out? Maybe. He might go back to Colorado. Is Quinn Ewers a guy that's going to go top 2 or 3? I doubt it. Michael Penix is good, but that high? I think I would be asking for a lot if I was Ryan Poles or whoever the GM is. Probably Poles, but we don't know for sure. You move down a spot, you get an early 2nd, get a 3rd next year. That's pretty good, and you can still get a player that you want here with the number 3 overall pick. Olu Fashanu, the left tackle for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Him and Joe Alt are the top tackles right now. I like Fashanu a bit more because he's an excellent pass protector. Excellent pass protector, and especially if you draft a guy like Caleb Williams or keep Justin Fields. Mobile quarterback that likes to buy himself some time. You want someone who can protect the quarterback. And look, the Bears have got to improve in the trenches on both sides of the football. In my last mock draft, I went Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm still very much open to that idea, but the idea of pairing a left tackle with Darnell Wright, who's your right tackle for the foreseeable future, is growing on me by the day. I think in this league, you got to play inside out. You got to build the trenches up and be competitive in those areas. And the Bears are just not. They have a below-average offensive line and a pitiful defensive line. Get a big-time left tackle in here to pair with Darnell Wright. What does that mean for Braxton Jones? I still think he could be the long-term left tackle. I like Braxton Jones. I think there's a ceiling there. I don't think he's ever going to be an all-pro, whereas Fashanu has that potential. But we don't know what's going on with Braxton. He's on IR right now with the neck injury. We don't know if that's a short or long-term injury. Could he kick inside and play guard? I think he's talented enough to do it. Worst-case scenario, if he does get healthy, is he's your swing tackle. He took him in the 5th round. That's a pretty good result for a guy coming out of Southern Utah. And guess what? He's got a lot of playing experience. So if for some reason Fashanu wasn't quite ready as a rookie, you could still have Jones be in there and be your left tackle. The idea of Olu and Darnell Wright, that's a nice offensive tackle duo, man. Assuming Olu doesn't bust, I've seen enough from Darnell Wright where I don't think he's going to bust. It's unclear how great he'll be, but he's been pretty good so far. You could have an awesome offensive tackle duo for a very long time, and that has not been the case in Chicago for years, for a very, very long time. So that idea is growing on me. You trade down a spot, you still get them. I think that's a very, very realistic scenario that I would like to play out. Now, maybe you would rather go Marvin Harrison Jr., and I'm fine with that pick for the record. I mean, Caleb Williams, MHJ, that would be a lot of fun. Who would you rather have, though, if you could only have one of these guys? Type Olu for Olu Fashanu. Type MHJ for Marvin Harrison Jr. I'd be content either way. The building up front is something that's very appealing to me. Round 2, pick number 33, Mason Smith, the defensive tackle out of LSU, and that is the correct spelling. 2 A's there for Mason Smith. And quick little scouting report from Dane Brugler of The Athletic. He says he's a 300-pounder who can eat up or push through double teams with the quickness off the ball to be a pass-rushing threat. Smith is the latest in an ever-growing line of skilled interior defensive line players with freaky athleticism. 6'6", he's about 310, 315 pounds. This could be your 3 technique. Very possible. I know the Bears just drafted Zach Pickens and Jervon Dexter, but if you don't see great progress from them, doesn't mean they can't be part of your future. But if you think a guy like Mason Smith can be a plug-and-play day one starter and productive there, that would be hard to pass up because, again, you got to get better on the trenches. You got no game wreckers on your defensive line right now. None. Yannick Ngakoue is a solid veteran. He's not a game wrecker, and I think what we've seen through 4 games is if he's your top defensive lineman, that's not ideal. He's a good number 2. Like if you have a good interior guy or if you have another edge rusher that takes on double teams, he's pretty good. But I think teams right now, they're just locking Yannick down because no one else can win one-on-one battles. You have 2 sacks in 4 games, so I think that's pretty clear. You plug this guy into the middle of your defense. He tore his ACL last year, so you'd have to see the medicals, but had 4 sacks as a freshman, off to a good start this year. So I would be very interested in Mason Smith in that late round 1, early round 2 range for this defensive line. Today's show sponsored by Game Time. Concerts, sporting events, comedy shows, much more. Get the best tickets at the last minute as well for the best prices available with Game Time. Buying tickets to any event, well, it shouldn't be frustrating. It should be very easy and very painless. With Game Time, it is. Game Time's goal for you is to have a peace of mind with your purchase and to help you save as much money as possible when buying your tickets. Whether you're going to a Bears game, a Bulls game, a concert, or any other event, Game Time wants you to have the best experience possible. And by the way, looking for last-minute tickets, they have flash sales all the time. Game Time has the best deals for you. I went to a TCU game last fall, literally the day of. I was like, you know what? I woke up, Kansas State night game. I was like, this is going to be a fun game. I was like, I don't know where I'm going to get tickets, though. My normal ticket hookup for TCU fell through, so I went to the Game Time app, and I used promo code BearsChat, got $20 off my first purchase there, like you guys can as well, and I got into the stadium, no problem, no harm, no foul. Day of. You can do it hours before. I've told you guys the story of the national championship game at SoFi Stadium. Myself and our bosses, Game Time, 2 hours before kickoff, bought 4 tickets, no problem. Promo code BearsChat gets you $20 off, so all you got to do, download the Game Time app, the little icon in the bottom left corner, that's how you know it's the right app. Download Game Time. Create an account and then use promo code BearsChat. That gets you $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets for the lowest price guarantee with Game Time. Go check them out today. Here's the first pick where some people might be like, this is kind of interesting. Ja'Tavion Sanders, the tight end out of Texas. He's been getting late round 1, early mid-round 2 buzz. Yes, I know you've paid Cole Kmet. Yes, he just came off probably the best game of his career, 85 yards, whatever it was, 2 touchdowns. I like Cole Kmet a lot. But I also know in today's NFL, 2 tight end sets are very popular. You look at a lot of the top offenses, they run a lot of multiple tight end sets. They do. And Ja'Tavion Sanders is an absolute freak with the ball in his hands. You look at his last 2 seasons at Texas. Last year in 13 games, 54 catches, 613 yards, 5 touchdowns, average of 11.4, which is really good for a tight end. How about 21.4? I know it's a smaller sample size early on this year, but after the catch, this kid is special. 13 catches, 278 and a touchdown. To me, this is Evan Ingram with better hands and a better blocker. He's not a great blocker, but he's serviceable there. He's gotten better this year in that area. Evan Ingram can't block at all. This is Evan Ingram on crack. That's what Ja'Tavion Sanders in. He can work the seam. He can play big slot. Texas lines him up on the outside against smaller corners, and he'll just post up. I mean, he is a mismatch nightmare, and can you imagine scenarios where him and Kmet are on the field at the same time? You got DJ Moore split out wide. Maybe Darnell Mooney's back here as your number 2 receiver, or maybe you draft another receiver on the outside as well. I mean, that's pretty appealing to think about. Is it a top need? No. But could it really open your offense even more? I mean, you know what's kind of weird? His skill set as a receiving threat is kind of like Chase Claypool, but a lot better, and he's not a head case. It's kind of similar. It really is. I like Ja'Tavion Sanders a lot. I think he can be really good for this Bears offense. I think I took him last week. I'll take him again here. Cedric Van Pran, first pick of the 3rd round. He's second, 3rd round guy. Could be the best center in this draft. And I made this point last week. No more Band-Aid centers. It's time to find a long-term solution there. Lucas Patrick, Cody Whitehair, Sam Mustipher, who of course is actually playing pretty good in Baltimore right now. But that's neither here nor there. Find a long-term solution. I think Cedric Van Pran could be that guy. In 5 games this year, PFF grade 77 overall. His pass blocking's 81, run blocking 73. No penalties. He's just solid, man. he's solid. And if you do keep the same offensive scheme, which who knows at this point, I think he fits it pretty well. He's mobile. He can move. I think he's 6'5", 310, so he's athletic enough to do it. I like this kid a lot. I liked Linderbaum. They didn't love him as a scheme fit, but I just like the idea of getting a center long term, and especially if you're also drafting a quarterback, get a guy that can grow with your quarterback, whether it's Justin Fields or whether it's Caleb Williams. I don't really care in terms of that, but I just want someone to be here long term at that position. I'm tired of wondering who the center is going to be, not only every year, but from week to week sometimes. Should the Bears draft a center next year? What do you guys think? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. Put your GM cap on for me. Y for yes, and for no. Should the Bears draft a center next year or not? 4th round picks here. We're doing just a 4-round mock today. A lot of these mock draft simulators today, I use PFFs. You get later into the draft, it's just wonky. They haven't done their prospect rankings yet. So 4 rounds today. Muhammad Kamara, if you guys watched that Colorado State game, this guy dominated the game, literally. He had Shedeur Sanders running for his life. He is the real deal. I think he could go day 2, but with him being at CSU, he could slip to day 3 of the draft. He's a really talented pass rusher that I think could be a rotation guy right away. Tyleik Williams, the defensive tackle out of Ohio State, more of a bruiser compared to Mason Smith. He's like 325, 330. He could rotate in at that one-tech spot. I like Andrew Billings. We'll see if they bring him back, but similar skill set there. Run stuffer who can occasionally get after the passer. Also, again, trenches. That is where the Bears must improve. So just recapping these selections real quick, my Bears mock draft 2.0, 4-round mock today. For now, I got to go Caleb Williams if you have the number 1 pick. I just think it's too good of an opportunity to pass up. Olu Fashanu, after trading down 1 spot, picking up an extra second and also a pick in next year's draft. Mason Smith as well. Jatavion Sanders, and then Cedric Van Pran, the 5 selections here in the first 3 rounds, and then Muhammad Kamara and Tyleik Williams, a couple of defensive linemen to add into the mix. So I like what I did. It's early in the draft process. Improve the trenches. Caleb Williams, Olu Fashanu, fun player in Jatavion Sanders. Again, if you want more mock draft coverage, hit that subscribe button here on the channel. Mock Draft Mondays might be a new movement here on Chicago Bears now. All right. Still the motto. Can we get an FGB chant going? Come on. FGB. 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 We got Emiliano, Wasim, Sam Lakhtara. We got Ryan, Ron Winarski, Mike, Brendan, 2 WCKD, Big Fields, Larry, Ron, V300, James Shepard, Wasim, James, Oz, Masters, Zane Gray, Michael Ortman, Austin Weaver. Get the FGBs going. And we crossed $200 in Super Chats. So I will take down a beer bong. Rolly, why don't you throw on who was this? Was it Ken who got us over the top? Lakhtara?
My boy Lakhtara did.
Lakhtara saying with Justin Fields, with competent coaching and management, having 2 first-rounders that you don't need to use on a QB is what's going to improve the team. Again, in a perfect scenario, that's what you want. But through 4 games, I just wish the answer was clear. That's what almost makes the Denver game frustrating. It's like, okay, yeah, the coaching's been bad, but the first 3 weeks, Fields hasn't taken that step. Then he plays the best game of his career, and yes, there were open guys a good amount of the game, but he also made some tight window throws while getting hit, and you're just like, you hope to see more of it. You hope to see more of it. Lakhtara says you gave Trubisky 4 years. You have to give Fields the extra. You don't have to. Fire Flus, Getsy, build the line, then determine if Fields is the guy. I just think that, look, you picked the wrong staff. You picked the wrong head coach. That's definitely true. But is a quarterback on his rookie deal, help me out here, Roy. Is a quarterback on his rookie deal going to get a 3rd coaching staff? That's very, has that even happened?
I don't know.
Daniel Jones, maybe?
Did he get 3? Oh, he got Judge?
Well, because Jason Garrett, I think his rookie year was not Garrett. as the OC. I'm not talking about just head coach necessarily.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about play caller
I thought you were
too.
talking.
In this
head
case,
coach.
it would also be head coach.
I thought you were talking for Jones, though.
Well, yeah, for Jones, I think he had 3 different offenses in 4 years.
No, yeah, offenses. I thought you were talking head coach.
Yeah, but to me in this, it's kind of the same because I just think of it this way, like Nagy, Getsy, for Jones.
Well, I can answer that question. There's a quarterback that's named Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones, 3 in 3 years.
Daniels, Patricia, O'Brien, every year of his career.
So it does happen. I mean,
if you're just going OCs, it's much more common there.
Yeah.
That's why I thought you were talking about just head coaches.
Yeah. But still with the Giants, I guess it was 2 head coach. Well, no, Judge was not the head coach his rookie year.
Thought he was. Like 2019?
I don't think he was.
I'm pretty sure Judge was the head coach.
I got to look at this.
Daniel Jones, this is like his 5th.
This is year 5.
Yeah. Joe Judge was the head coach 5 years ago.
Dude, he was only the coach for 2 years. Judge's first year was 2020. It was Pat Shurmur.
So Shurmur,
Judge, Dable. See, and dude, that's my thing too. And again, I'm not even saying I would do it because I don't think you can pass on Caleb Williams to get the number 1 pick, but it's like Justin Fields has more raw talent than Daniel Jones, even now. Like, I'm not saying he's had a better career, but like Daniel Jones got a 3rd head coach and then got paid, which was a bad decision, I think. But the point I'm making is like, I understand where people are coming from. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Wasim just balled out against terrible. Yeah, we need to see a lot more. And I've said that throughout the show. But you see the potential. Emiliano, the Bengals passed on Penei Sewell when they desperately needed O-line. They took superstar Jamar Chase. No question you take Marvin Harrison. I don't think it's no question. Look, and I've said I'd go either way. I took Marvin Harrison last week. I took Olu this week. Part of that was just to mix up the mock drafts. Part of it is like, I kind of like that idea. I think the Bears suck in the trenches, and that's a big reason why they lose these games.
I actually have a thought on this, Harrison. I don't think it's apples to apples. Why? Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow played together in college. So they already had chemistry.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow already knew how Jamar Chase acted and how he thought.
I'll say
that's what played into it.
Yeah.
I honestly do think, say Jamar Chase went to Oklahoma and did not go to LSU with Joe Burrow,
they might have drafted.
I think they go Penei Sewell.
Yeah, Burrow had big influence there.
Yeah.
Number 1.
So I don't think it's apples to apples.
And I know they already had T. Higgins, so what I'm about to say may not be the best argument, but DJ Moore, like you've got him. You could just re-sign Mooney as your number 2. And by the way, it may not be a hefty price tag. Like you might get Mooney at like $8-10 million a year at this point. Like Mooney's your 2. Draft a receiver in like the 3rd round, or hell, do what I just did. Take Jatavion Sanders, who's a receiver tight end hybrid basically. But I'm perfectly happy with Marvin Harrison. I see what you're saying, but I watch these games and I'm like, they never have the advantage in the trenches on either side. Never. And that's a problem. Big problem. Brendan, no way I could pass up on drafting Caleb Williams, then drafting Brock Bowers. It's also intriguing. They would be culture setters. Yeah, I struggle a little bit with that one because Bowers and Kmet would be awesome. I did it with Sanders and Kmet, but I got Sanders in round 2. Like, you're not improving your trenches. Like, yes, Bowers can block, obviously, but I don't know. I would take Bowers in a trade down scenario from the number 2 pick, but I would have him behind Olu and Marvin Harrison and potentially Jared Verse as well, the Florida State edge rusher. Zane Gray, I pick up Fields option after this year because it's cheap enough and then draft top QB available. Let Williams develop, fire Flus and Co. this year. I just don't think if you draft a quarterback number 1 overall, that means you picked up Fields option as well. Like, could you imagine that, Rolly? You pick up Justin Fields 5th year option, then draft a quarterback number 1 overall? It just seems so unlikely to me. It seems unlikely. Be interesting. Seems unlikely. All right, I'm going to take down this beer bong. I'll throw 2 minutes on the clock. If we don't get a super chat, we're going to sign off here. 2 minutes. Here we go.
Thursday will be interesting, man. Could it be Eberflus's last game?
There's a lot of storylines Thursday. I mean, number one, can Fields have another strong performance? Number two, is this Eberflus's last stand? Like, if he loses, there's a lot of logical reasons to make a move. Mini bye week, 10 days off.
It's a bad matchup for the Bears defense because, as you like to mention, they play a lot of cover two. You know who's one of the best, or at least he has been early on. I know we've had that bad game against the Bills. Sam Howell is excellent at hitting cover two shots down the sideline.
Well,
excellent.
And scheme aside, you're still – I mean, I can't imagine on a short week Jalen Johnson and Eddie Jackson return.
Yeah.
I mean, I doubt they're out there. So I will say this. In the first half, the secondary actually held up pretty well, surprisingly. But they got exposed in the second half. Zane Gray keeps this going for now. Will the Bears being good? Well, the Bears being good is unlikely too. Something major has to change. Do something unconventional. I got to do something, man. Throw another minute on the clock here. 1 minute. JJ gets hurt too much. Who's he talking about? JJ. Who's JJ?
I don't know.
Who's JJ? MVP? Who are you talking about? Oh, Jalen Johnson. Yeah, he's had some. He never has major injuries. It seems like he always has like a minor thing. That's the one down thing like about him. Like if you're gonna keep him long term, is he does miss time. It seems to happen. Ooh, a first time super chat from Blaine Clavel. He says, if Justin Fields leads an offense to average 24 the rest of the season, but the defense keeps allowing 30 plus, do we still draft Caleb? I mean, it's hard to like play all these hypotheticals, but I just think at the end of the day, if you get the number one pick, like it's gonna be hard to pass on him. Is there a scenario where you would trade down again? I suppose. I mean, Justin Fields would have to play pretty awesome the rest of the way, I would think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shout out to Blaine Clavel. First time super chat equals 5. Jumping jacks. From Rogue, if Fields was traded, which team organization would be the best for him to succeed? I mean, I don't know if they've had a great organization necessarily, but I think Atlanta makes a lot of sense. Ryan Pace is in that front office. He's from just outside of Atlanta. I think Arthur Smith could get a lot out of him. Him and Bijan in the same backfield is electrifying. He's got a big play downfield weapon in Drake London. We know Fields throws a good vertical ball, so there's a lot of reasons to think that would be a good fit in terms of teams that could actually need a quarterback too. There's plenty of other organizations that are better, but those teams have proven starters. So I think Atlanta's the team that really stands out. Zane Gray, thanks for everything. Signing off. Appreciate it, Zane. Shout out to you. Chicago ain't for everybody. Fields gave the game to Eberflus, and he couldn't stop a cold. It's like this from last year's Fields. Gets us 20 points. The D screws it up, and now it's on the quarterback. Yeah, look, I think if you're laying blame on why the Bears lost yesterday, there's certainly multiple things you get to before Justin Fields. Did he contribute to it in the end? Yeah, he did. But you're also not even close to being in a position to win without him. So you got to put that game away, dude. You're up 28-7. Got to put it away. Couldn't do it. Jeff Bartlett, just in time to send something to support the channel. Jeff, we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody just for tuning in, liking the video, subscribe. Super chats are icing on the cake, and they help us grow. But we know everybody can't donate, so just being here is awesome. Emiliano Fields trade value. Sam Darnold was traded for a second and a fourth, which is kind of hard to believe. I believe Fields nets you something similar, if not a little better. That seems right, especially if he keeps playing well the next few weeks, like if you were to try and deal him at the deadline or in the offseason. But I don't think you'd get a 1, at least right now. I think a day 2 pick plus a day 3 pick sounds right. I mean, Trey Lance went for a 4th, and San Francisco was kind of begging someone to take him. I think a guy who's played and at least had some success and has dynamic physical tools would intrigue some teams. So, yeah, 2 and a 4. I mean, that feels right. That feels right. Maybe it's a 3 and a 4. I'm not sure. But I don't think you're getting a first, at least not right now. All right. new deal, 2 minutes. We have to get to 300 to keep it going because we're pressed for studio time. We got Monday Night Football, a couple of watch parties coming up, so we got to clear out. But we can keep it going a little bit longer. We're $50 away from 300. So if we can get there, we'll extend the show. It can be a cumulative effort or one person, but if not, we'll sign off. Appreciate everybody for hanging out. So 2 minutes. But yeah, back to that Thursday night conversation. I think the two main talking points are, is it Matt Eberflus's last game? And can Justin Fields put out another strong performance? I mean, that's really it. Like, if Flus loses his 15th game in a row and starts this year 0-5, I mean, I don't know how you argue to keep him, if we're being completely honest. If they win, he probably lives to see another day. If Fields can play good again, win or lose, that would be a positive development. Coming off a strong game against Denver, I think we'll learn a lot about this team. We'll learn a lot. We'll learn about the potential direction of this franchise. 1 minute to go. Tough start for Cincy. What's going on there? Like, I know Burrow's hurt, Rolly, but it feels like it's more than that.
They can't protect him.
Yeah.
He's just been getting hit all the time.
But, like, that's been a problem, though. Like, he's played well with bad protection. Like, I don't know. Did you see what Jamar Chase said? He told reporters, I'm always fucking open. That felt like a shot. I know him and Burrow are boys, but that was weird.
It was weird because I have a hard time believing he would ever take a personal shot at Burrow.
Yeah. Matthias with the 2. Still a long way to go to get to 300. We'll see if someone can rally with Matthias. Tired of Bears coaches ruining our players. Yeah, man. It's tough, man. You just feel like you're cursed almost. Can't protect them, and Chase is being misused. But, like, the same, hasn't Zach Taylor been the play caller for years there now? Like, I don't know. Something feels off. All right. Rogue with the 5. The clock's ticking here. We're about to wrap up here. If Fields starts killing it like 2022 post-Patriots, but Bears keep losing, what is your take on the outcome? Without knowing exactly how it looks, like, it's got to look better than last year, even though there was some good last year. Like, I mean, if he's stacking 300-yard games like he did yesterday and, you know, has this monster season, but they just keep losing, like, you almost feel like that's impossible, though. Like, if he plays like he did yesterday the rest of the year, like, they're going to win some games, right? You'd like to think so. Now, this is the Bears we're talking about. It's this garbage defense we're talking about, but you would think. All right, Rolly and I are going to get out of here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Oh, Los de Legends is not so fast. He's got us under $40. And this is a shot, so that buys you guys a few extra seconds. He says, Harrison calling it. Justin Fields will ball out with a moving pocket. 3,700 yards, 850 rushing. Bears will continue to really suck. Just get lucky enough to get the number 5 and number 7 pick where the QBs will be gone. He stays. I feel pretty good, Rolly, about one of Chicago or Carolina finishing in the top 3. If not both.
Yeah, I'd say that one of them is a lock.
I'd be shocked if...
I'd be surprised if either team won more than 3
Dude,
games.
Carolina's getting Bryce Young killed. This was my fear.
Dude, and I said this, that's why...
Their O-line's a joke.
Seeps pissed me off by saying the Panthers were a dark
Their
horse to
O-line,
win this,
their
South.
receivers can't separate and their O-line can't block. And you have a 5'9" quarterback. That's a bad recipe. Like... Oh, Rogue says, keep it going. Keep it going. All right, Rogue. You guys kept it rolling here. Matthias says, fire Flus, hire Jeff Saturday. Oh, boy. Sad thing is, just for the remainder of the season, I'd probably rather have Jeff Saturday.
Yeah,
just because it's something different. All right, I got to take down a beer bong. All right, well, say that buys you at least a few minutes here. Cheers. Let's do this, Rolly. Do you have the clock thing on screen that you can throw up?
Yeah.
Let's throw 5 minutes up. Let's give the guys an extended extra Q&A. It could be super chats or hashtag Bears. We'll do 5 more minutes of taking some questions here. Shout out to Rogue. Round of applause to Rogue. 5 more minutes. Unless the supers get crazy, then we'll extend again. But I'm going to give you guys 5 more solid minutes of Q&A here. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat. We know not everybody can donate, so we'll get some hashtag Bears questions as well. Drink till you drop. If you guys keep ripping 10s and 50s, those are shots and beer bongs, so that's up to you guys. But here we go. Let's run it. 5 minutes on the clock, and we'll wrap it up after this. Hashtag Bears Super Chat. So if you can't Super Chat, Rolly, we'll get some hashtag Bears questions in there. We'll get to Brendan Super in a second as well. Brendan, how funny is it that all of these defensive coordinators we hire as a head coach when we passed on Sean Desai? Yeah, I mean, Desai, it's hard to know if he's ready to be a head coach, but doing a good job in Philadelphia as that DC. Tell you what, I'd much rather have him running my defense than Matt Eberflus. I don't think that's even a question. So, yeah, it's pretty tough. Hashtag Bears Super Chat. Exotic Justin says, do you think we might make a playoff push if the NFC North does bad? And also Fields MVP on my fantasy this week. Yeah, Fields had a good fantasy week. I'd feel okay starting him against Washington for what it's worth. I don't think this team's making the playoffs. They're 0-4. I don't know how many teams in NFL history have made the playoffs after starting 0-4. I know Detroit was 1-6 last year and almost made it, but it would take a massive turnaround, let's be honest. Twitch Sika, does Caleb Williams stay another year if the Bears have the first overall pick with our horrible history of rookie quarterbacks? This idea keeps getting thrown out there, and I know his dad made some comments that they don't like who's picking number 1. We'll go back to USC. Number 1, he can't make more money at USC, even with all the NIL stuff. Rookie quarterback, first-round picks are fully guaranteed contracts. Number 1 overall pick, I think it's over $30 million guaranteed. Like, he is not – I just don't see him turning that down. And any team picking number 1, by the way, that is going to be a team with some level of dysfunction. It just is. There's a reason they're picking number 1 overall. So, yeah, I still think he would come out personally. Matthias, a $2 super chat. Last 14 teams with the number 1 pick went 0-4. Last 14 teams, the number 1 pick went 0. Oh, so you're saying got off to an 0-4 start? Well, the Bears have the only 2 picks of teams that are 0-4, Rolly, so maybe they're in a good spot to get the number 1 pick.
Will the 2 teams be winless when they meet up?
That would be the best watch party of the year, I think.
I mean, at that point, it really doesn't matter who wins or loses that game.
Yeah.
The Bears win either way.
Yeah, exactly. Tito.
So I guess you kind of want to win that.
No D in the mock. I did take Muhammad Kamara in the 4th. The way it fell, there wasn't like proper value when I was selecting. I could have taken Jared Verse number 3 instead of Olu, but other than that, it just didn't line up that way this week, Tito. So I do like that Kamara guy, though, Rolly. I don't know if you remember watching that game, but he was everywhere against Colorado. Like, he literally was everywhere in that game. DC Viper, 2 minutes on the clock. We'd have to get to 400 to extend, which is 80 away. So 2 minutes, got to get to 400 to extend the show. What about a team like the Saints trading for Fields in the off season? Saints are interesting. I mean, Derek Carr hasn't lit it up early. What's their coaching situation? Like, is Dennis Allen still there? Pete Carmichael, I think he could be on the hot seat as the play caller there. So it's hard to know. I mean, I can't imagine they would give Derek Carr that contract and punt after 1 year, but Jameis Winston's a free agent. Maybe it could be a scenario where they bring in Fields as the backup, let him sit for a year behind a veteran, and then maybe he's the starter in 25. Maybe. Saints would be an interesting one. Also in, NFC South, which is not too far from where he grew up. Mike Hillinger, 1 minute on the clock. Nagy and Trubisky were the last duo to get the Bears to the playoffs, and we all hate Nagy. Think about that. Yeah, look, just because Flus has been a disaster doesn't mean we should want Matt Nagy back. But yeah, I think the point you're making is that just goes to show how bad this has been for Matt Eberflus. He's 3-18 as a head coach. It's a disaster. Doesn't get much worse, man. It's brutal. Dragon, was play calling the issue or purely defense? I actually liked the play calling for a lot of the game. Now, I thought Vance Joseph adjusted, especially on those boots, and Luke Getsy did not adjust. So I think that continues to be an issue is when teams adjust, when you actually are doing things well, where's the counter adjustment? You don't see it. The defense was definitely a problem. So it was a combination of stuff. Obviously, if the defense gets one stop, basically, in the final 4 possessions, they win the game, but unable to do it. Francisco, first-time super chat. We need to start by getting the McCaskies out. They always go for cheap coaching and cheap team staff. I'm done with the incompetence from the top. Well, we can't force the McCaskies out because they own the football team. Would that be nice if they sold? Sure. And could they someday? I actually think they could, but I don't think it's super likely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's show. And we're going to get out of here. Studio space has got to open up, and I just found out that my son has pink eye, so that's awesome. Tell you what, when you have a baby, either the baby's sick or you're sick or mom is sick, it's always something. Hopefully PJ's doing all right. I'm going to go see him here in a minute. All right. Bear down, bear up, whatever you want to say these days. Videos tomorrow, Thursday Night Football. Lots going on this week.